welcome to Taylor, Michigan, very near the home of the Red Wings, for the championship round of the Greater Detroit Open. Once again, we start the telecast with the Showboat King of the Hill match. And here are our competitors. Here's our reigning Showboat King of the Hill, Walter Ray Williams Jr., #1 ranked in the tour from Stockton. The pro, Tom Baker, earned his spot by winning last week's Harrisburg Open, a 9-time champion from Buffalo. The #4 seed is Wayne Webb, a 20-time titleist with a pair of wins this year, PBA Hall of Famer from Las Vegas. Bowling him in match 1 is Tommy DeLutz, a pro making his 4th career telecast, seeking his first title from Jamaica, New York. Our semifinal match features a former PBA Rookie of the Year, Ricky Ward, with 1 title from North Fort Myers, Florida. And our tournament leader, Pete Weber, after his 3rd win of the year, 24th of his illustrious career from St. Anne's, Missouri. Well, last week, the Showboat Hotel, Casino, and Resort brought back the King of the Hill. And what a king emerged as he bowled Norm Duke. I'm speaking of Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Well, Chris, last week Walter Ray shot .213 to defeat Duke. That will not be enough today against our Harrisburg Open winner, Tommy Baker. The Bakes was strong in winning the title last week, and he'll be very tough against Deadeye in the opening match.
The Showboat King of the Hill, presented by Showboat and the Handshake. Round 1 coming up. The area of nothing but championships, Detroit. The Wings, the Grand Prix. Detroit Open. Well.
You know, Chris, it's kind of hard to get a read on these players in the Showboat King of the Hill match, in that they know they're only going to bowl 1 game. Neither one of these players are among the 4 finalists we have left. So even though there's 10,000 at stake, they seem to be a little bit more relaxed than normal.
Oh, shots like that. Tom Baker, one of the good guys.
Well, the Bakes averaged .240 on this pair during the week, where Walter Ray only averaged .219. A good scoring pair, 48 lanes here in Taylor, Michigan, a suburb of Detroit. And Baker just has that real good feel that you get after coming off a championship.
First time in the King of the Hill match.
Gotta hold off. God dang it.
Well, what he has to do here for the 4, 6, 7 is really just go for 2 pins. It's early in the match. He just wants to knock 2 pins back. If he gets a break and it kicks out into 6 pin, a good break. But he did the proper thing.
Tom Baker, who has cashed this year in 15 of 17 tournaments. Great performance. All right, here's a man that was in 5 previous Kings of the Hill matches. Looks awesome.
Walter Ray playing the very familiar extreme outside line that he's somewhat patented this year. Standing on the right, sliding in this area, and the ball just coming just inside the first arrow, heading out towards the edge. If he gets it wide, he hopes he can snap it back. This lane hooks a little more.
3 in a row. Winner take all of $10,000.
Second pin on the right-hand part of your screen. This is the little old 10-pin love tap with the 6. Boy, when a player can catch that, he has really got a bonus shot.
High hit leaving the 6-10. Tom Baker finished 5th overall in the tournament, and Walter Ray 6th.
Tom Baker not as familiar with the outside shot as Walter. Tom likes the first arrow left. Once you have to get it outside the first arrow, Bakes pinches it a little bit.
All right, he was grateful for that. Now he'll move over to the left lane. Standing room only crowd.
Wow. You gotta make a move, Biggs.
'46th television appearance. A little trouble with 39 of our championship pair.
When you're playing that extreme outside line, as you see Baker out in the same area as Walter Ray, you have to really trust the ball to roll back. You can't snap it back. Baker, an instinctive inside player. He likes the center of the lane, has a little more spin on his ball. This is not conducive to his game. Look out.
Goodness sakes, that's 2 open frames through 4 for Tom Baker.
He doesn't practice any shots. The center of the lane very dry. Slides right back the 2-5.
As I mentioned before, we're in the great Detroit, near suburb of Detroit, sports capital, along with Belmont Park of the United States today.
Well, Walter Ray quickly up on the approach.
Make a number 4 in a row. This week, Bo, there's been a lot of cross-plugging. It's a great sports city. Hockey, the Red Wings have promoted the Greater Detroit Open here at Taylor Lanes, vice versa. The Mariners.
And we have the kart race at Belle Island on ABC tomorrow.
And they've been cross-promoting each of the events.
It's all right, I can pick that up.
Well, Walter Ray has had all good breaks. He crossed over in the first frame on this lane. He tripped out the 4 on one shot. He kicked the 10 out. There he avoids the 4-9, has an easy spare. He'll have a 55-pin lead.
Now back to Tom Baker. 5th frame following an open. High hit, another split. 4-7-10, Bo.
Well, Chris, styles match up to certain lane conditions, and I talked about Baker. He has the 4-7-10 up there, and he has to slide that 4 into the 10. The ball will take out the 7, but his style doesn't match up well to the outside shot. Most all players who bowl well outside have a high roll. I mean, next to the thumb and fingers, not a spin like Baker.
Next Saturday at 3 Eastern and Pacific, 2 Central on ABC Sports, it's the Wichita Open where Jess Stayrook tries to defend his title, plus another King of the Hill match. That's the Pro Bowlers Tour next Saturday, ABC Sports. After 3 opens, finally a strike in the 6th. Open with a strike.
You got a little hole there, like they got the league players, you know.
Guy with $1 million smile in game.
And he's got about $10,000 worth of breaks so far in this match. As you look at the fingertip grip, just send it wide. Don't try to help it too much.
You know, in addition to bowling this weekend, hockey fever is sweeping through Detroit as the Red Wings go for the midpoint of our Showboat Hotel, Casino, and Resort King of the Hill match between Walter Ray Williams, JR, and Tom Baker, who has had no luck at all, trailing by 76. He does have a strike up, however, shooting in the 7th. So he's left a 10-pin on the right lane. Walter Ray, if you just joined us, opened with 4 in a row, then a spare. He'll be working on a double when he gets up to shoot in the 8th frame. But let's see the cross-lane shot now of Tom Baker. Buffalo's Tom Baker. This is great. Okay, Bo.
Thank you, Chris. Wayne Webb, if you win number 21 today, you said you had a surprise for all your fans in the audience.
Yeah, in Tampa this year, the wives out here wanted me to get my hair cut, so I told them that next time I win, we'll cut it off on TV.
All right. Something to look forward to, Chris. He may lose the wax.
And for Tom Baker, the smile and the strike. That was in the 8th frame. Now working on a double, shooting in the 8th. Walter Ray Williams, number 1, just about everything. Number 1 money leader. So the King of the Hill, good reverse. And he left the 7th pin on the right lane. There. Forward. Reverse. Okay, continues to mark with the spare as we go to Nelson Burton Jr.
Thank you, Chris. Tommy DeLutz, you know, Wayne Webb's your opponent. He says he's going to cut all his hair off, and I know you're going to try to stop him from winning the tournament. But on a more serious note, you bowled all the way through college, and what were your expectations coming out here as an All-American?
Well, I know a lot of people struggle when they come on tour, and I didn't have a big fantasy saying that, yeah, I'll come out here on tour and win right away. I knew it would be hard, and it was. I worked really hard on my game in the last 2 years. It's just paying off.
You know what? It'll pay off, Chris. He's improved as much as anybody I've seen in the last 3 years, and he'll show his stuff in the next game.
6-9. And the winner of this King of the Hill match, Walter Ray Williams Jr., will get to shoot again in Wichita a week from today against today's Greater Detroit Open champion. Now, Tom Baker. Remember, this is a winner take all. Oh, even Jack Cook with the showboat is shaking his head with all these splits. Nelson.
Well, Jack is hoping for 7-11. However, all we can get is 7-10 in the sport of bowling. Bakes take a whack at it, just have some fun. It's just a win or lose situation, so score is really inconsequential.
Tomorrow night on ABC starts with a brand new episode of Second Noah and America's Funniest Home Videos, followed by the ABC Sunday night movie Without Consent, starring Jenny Garth. That's all tomorrow night. Where else? ABC.
Well, the Bakes leaves a 7-pin, and he has a chance.
Throwing the towel yet?
Well, you have a chance for a record, Bakes. The all-time record low in the Showboat King of the Hill matches is 147. If you miss this spare, you'll have 140.
And his low all week was 151. Walter Ray's was 161. So
I put so much pressure on your Walt.
Always good to have Tom Baker on any telecast. Had a super career, and at a little advanced age, he's doing all right.
Well, your 40s is a good time to be a pro if you stay in good physical shape, and Baker has done that.
Our friend Bill Burton, who's a couple of years beyond that, finished 39th.
Well, I like the way you paraphrase a couple.
That helps.
That means two.
Walter Ray, a potential 246. He will go on to try his 3rd consecutive Showboat King of the Hill match in Wichita.
I didn't quite get it out as far. Get it in a little bit, yeah.
Oil patterns today, Nelson.
Well, Chris, it looks like the center of the lane is very dry. The players are playing extreme outside line, tough scoring condition.
Well, it's a 236. Tom Baker's 150. King of the Hill will move on to Wichita. As this ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowler Show will continue after these messages and a word from our ABC.
From Kellogg's, McDonald's, home of America's favorite fries, and the Showboat Hotel Casino and Bowling Center, the flagship of the Boulder Strip in Las Vegas.
All right, and the Showboat King of the Hill match, it was Walter Ray Williams winning it over Tom Baker. And as you see, we have Tommy DeLutz, Wayne Webb, Ricky Ward, Pete Weber, who waits in the wings as the tournament leader. Usually we have on our team Tom Gatewood, the All-American from Notre Dame, but he's in the Baltimore area this week, mourning the loss of his grandmother, Lillian Vaughn, who lived to the age of 97. And get this, she mothered 17 children. Great life, Grandma.
Wow, my condolences go out to the Gatewood family. And Kristen, let me ask you a little second thought here is that we often get asked how you become a PBA member, and it's actually pretty simple. You must have a 200 average sanctioned for 2 consecutive years, apply for PBA membership with 3 PBA signatures on there, and then complete the PBA school. But I have to add one addendum to that, Chris. You got to throw the bowling ball a little bit better than 200 to beat these guys out here.
Oh, yes, and it's demonstrated on ABC television every Saturday afternoon. And now Wayne Webb. Remember, he has won 20 titles, 22 years of professional. He was in the PBA Hall of Fame. He was a 1980 Player of the Year going against Tommy DeLutz of Jamaica, New York. Okay, that's one step closer to a haircut. Now, 30-year-old Tommy DeLutz, collegiate bowler. And the twice All-American now is going to have to go for a 3 sleeper 9.
Tommy DeLutz, one of the most improved players on the PBA Tour. Chris, watch how he takes the ball back right now. Now let's hit the top of the swing, freeze it right there. See how everything's in line. Now he used to come way out here around with a big bump in his swing, and when he got it inside, look at that. Excellent release there, good follow through. Didn't get the perfect result as he goes a little left to target, but that's made him a really top player out here.
All right. So it's Webb with the strike, DeLutz with the spare. Covered that 3 in sleeper 9. William Patterson College, his school, 2-time All-American, that New Jersey institution. He can savor that now as he will look on with you as Wayne Webb is back up, shooting in the second frame. Strike up. 4th television appearance, 12 cashes, 18 tournaments. Two wins and a third for this pro. 71st television appearance. There's a textbook lesson here on TV, usually given by Bo Burton.
Thank you, Chris. Walter Ray, 2 King of the Hill match wins. Next week, however, it's $10,000 plus a $15,000 bonus. You think there'd be a little more pressure?
I don't think so. It's just a matter of going out there figuring out how to bowl the lanes, and hopefully your opponent takes it easy on the time.
Well, he's had a pretty easy trip so far, Chris. He'll be back trying to make $25,000 in Wichita, and back to you.
Okay, and Wayne Webb on the left lane, 2-7. He's had his work cut out for him, hasn't he? Covered 310. Oh. Chopped the 7 off, so for Wayne Webb, it's an open frame, and his lead now is 13.
Well, Chris, the players, and I talked to Walter Ray on the side, they're all struggling quite a bit. They have the same, I don't say a complaint, but they say the center of the lane is very dry, the outsides are slick, and that makes a very difficult shot.
jumps on it, and he takes a 23-pin lead. Here's how the qualifying and the match play.
Well, Chris, they have 18 games of qualifying, then 24 in the finals, total of 42 games, and Tommy DeLutz was right near the top till Pete Weber made a late charge last night. But this young man is somebody you're going to see a lot of on the Professional Bowlers Tour. He's got the whole package.
Didn't quite come up. So
really, that's what you want to do, is when the lanes are really wild, you want to stay wide. There's no percentage going high. DeLutz doesn't want to be protective. There's not such a thing. But you can't get left with the ball, go up and get a bunch of splits. Not a bad shot. Easy spare.
Okay, as we go to break, let's take a royal trip down memory lane. Our trip down memory lane takes us to 1983 this week. It was our first glimpse at a face that would become very familiar. An 18-year-old player named Norm Duke would win 4 matches to claim the Cleveland Open, becoming the youngest player to win a PBA title.
Well, the oil and lane has 2 separate purposes, really. One, to protect the lane, and second, to establish a shot. Here's what we're looking at today. Kind of an oil Christmas tree pattern here. There's supposed to be a heavy oil here, some blended out in this area. But here's what allows the players to do. One, to go around this pattern. They're playing out here like Walter. The left-hander, Ricky Ward, will be more around the second area. I think there's one option, Chris, that the players aren't using, and that's to play the track area on these woods lanes down the center. None of the right-handers have opted for that, and I think that would be the magic elixir. We'll see if any of them figure it out.
Looked like Wayne was trying that in his channel. They're great comment. He said, a little wide. Well, it's a game of changing conditions, changing lines. They got 7 pins. 54 through the 4th. In his respite, he'll go over to the left lane, and in the meantime, here's Bo.
Thank you, Chris. Ricky Ward, the only southpaw on the telecast today. Ricky, it looks like the right-handers are having some trouble. Do you feel it's a little better shot on the left, or does it look the same to you?
Well, I did quite a bit of practicing during practice time, and the right side there's 4 of them, and they were pushing the oil down. I just tried to keep an open mind and looking forward to bowling a good match.
Chris, he's very tough when he gets close, great in the clutch. We'll see what he can do in the semifinal.
All right. And let's see what his possible opponent will do here with the 4 or 10. Wayne, like Tom Baker in the King of the Hill match won by Walter Ray, just having his problems. Tommy DeLutz perhaps hasn't learned yet how hard this professional game is.
Wayne tries to throw a little backup or cut shot of that shot. It doesn't get where he wants. It goes by both pins.
And again, jumping on a miscue. Striking the 5th frame for, there he is, Tommy DeLutz.
Tommy DeLutz is playing what I call an in-between game. He's learned how to bowl both power and down the end. Today he's a tweener. He's about right here. He's going to be sliding right here. He's going to play a medium amount of hook just inside the second arrow, not quite out to the channel like you saw Walter Ray or Webb try, and just keep it in play. If he strikes here, he'll really have Webb on the ropes.
Couldn't trip the 4.
This is Tommy's first appearance on ABC television. I thought he'd be very nervous. I went back in the paddock about 10 minutes before airtime, and he's in there shooting pool and working on his shoes. He was playing with Matt Fiorito, the brilliant bowling writer from the Detroit Free Press, and he said he felt very confident, and so far he has a 47-pin lead.
All right. Well, you talked about Matt, Bowling Writers Association of America, proud to be a member. Our pal Dick Denny just retired as a bowling writer at the Indianapolis News. Now he'll have time to write a book about Mike Albee.
All right, Mike Albee been a little bit under the weather last couple of weeks. We hope to see him on the telecast the next 2 weeks.
He's counting his open frames.
Here's the guy who knows how to make it. I crossed with him in the tournament this week. Just missed a check by 8 or 10 pins. If he could have made that one more time, he'd have made some money. Webb, a great confidence bowler. And when he gets on a roll, he can throw strikes with anybody. He was sitting there trying to pull a rabbit out of his hat, try a different shot. And I think he's going to try just, there it is, straight down the boards.
No breaks.
Well, actually bad breaks there. He throws a straight ball and no deflection, leaves a solid 9. Finally gets a spare.
Wayne Webb. With the Belmont Stakes up next, let's get the bowlers' impressions of the race.
This year I like Silver Charm to win the Belmont Stakes because I think it's about time we had a Triple Crown winner. I think he's going to do it.
I don't know much about horse races. I'd bet on Silver Charm, but at a horseshoe pitching tournament, I'd bet on me.
Okay, for the Belmont Stakes today, I'm going to take Crypto Star with Pat Day riding because I feel like he's a long shot, kind of like me today, and we're going to take it all the way.
After carefully studying the program last night, my pick for the Belmont Stakes is Mr. Energizer.
I think I'm going to pull for Irish Silence today because, like me, I'm the underdog, and I like to see us both win today.
Well, I think I'm going to have to go with Silver Charm today because we're both favorites.
Here at the Greater Detroit Open, we have the numbers 4 and 3 rated players going head-to-head, and they've gone beyond the halfway point. Tommy DeLutz Jr. is having some good fortune, and Wayne Webb not so.
Well, Chris, it's just been, I'd have to almost say in bowling vernacular, ugly so far. The players have struggled on both lanes. DeLutz has fared better than the other players that have bowled so far.
Seventh frame strike. Showboat King of the Hill match was won by Walter Ray Williams Jr. 7 strikes, 236. Tom Baker shot a 150.
Sometimes it's the little things that pay off, and DeLutz during that last little commercial break took the time to take his bowling ball off the rack, go over there, swing it a few times, almost just like he was throwing it on the pillow of his bed or something that the old-time players used to do that keeps your hand from swelling up, and he fared very well in his first shot.
Big double, and he leads by 68 pins, and the haircut bow, well.
Wayne Webb's going to keep his hair, that's for sure. His chances in winning this match, I wouldn't want to bet on it.
Wouldn't even bet on that he'll be back on our telecast again. He is normally tough.
You know, people at home have to wonder why we talk about scores like 280, 290 during the week, and all of a sudden you come out in the championship round, these guys can't hit them. A lot has to do with how the oil, what we call, carries down the lane. And what I mean by that is they bowl, they push the oil down the lane, and with just a few guys, sometimes the oil doesn't get a smooth pattern. You see this ball here? Normally that ball would stay right there, and it's not break that early. It'd break another 3 or 4 feet later, the ball would end up in a pocket, and there's very little a player can do to adjust for that.
Coming up next on ABC Sports, except for those of you on the West Coast, it's Silver Charm's run at history. It's the 129th running of the Belmont Stakes, the third and final race in the Visa Triple Crown Challenge on ABC's Wide World of Sports. That's coming up next. So it's It's 3-6-10. Bo, having done the Belmont Stakes quite a few times over the years, it is a true test for a thoroughbred at 1.5 miles. And to hear on the sidewalks of New York is really exhilarating.
Well, I agree, Chris. As you see, a man who knows a lot about the sidewalks of New York, Tommy DeLutz from that area. It's going to be an interesting race, as we all know. You and I talked about it. You covered it more than I do. I have my long shot, the Midwestern horse, Crypto Star.
Oh,
I think that he's got a lot of speed. Look out. Right now, this man is in the driver's seat. He's going to win his first championship round match on ABC.
5'11", 160 pounds. Has some superstitions. Sits in the same chair, never wears red name shirts.
Okay. A little bit like Tiger Woods.
What are the odds?
Well, Chris, I'd say under normal circumstances, a player will make this 2 out of 3 times. However, right now, he may even try an experimental shot. He has the match well in hand. He wants to see what's on the left side of the lane. Throws a little rocket shot in there. 2:15. It's a winner.
2:15 for Tommy DeLutz. If you're looking for more reaction in your shot, Will Burton and Steve Wilson offer this advice on this week's Tip of the Week. Was eliminated. He saves his hair. 2:15, 160. Next up, Ricky Ward and Tommy DeLutz Jr. Then Pete Weber. There's Mark Gerbic, Commissioner of the Professional Bowlers Association, in from Akron, Ohio.
And some of the other finishers, the field of 117, just a solid overall average, 214 to make the top 24. Mike Miller finished 7th. He's just having a real good year, very quietly. The Fireball, Phil Ringner, was 9th. Ryan Schaefer had 3 270s in a row this week. Eric Forkel flew his coach in. Lenny Mal got him up to the top. The Beef, the Buzzsaw in 15th. Orton Jr. has to go to the whip here to get a little bit higher, and he's going. Anthony Lombardo, he's doing well, but he's not great yet. The Big D, Dave D'Entremont, Sylvia, Curtis Odom, top 24, Amleto, and Danny Wiseman, who was featured in our bowling tip of the week last week, 24th.
All right. Next week we'll be in Wichita, Kansas for the Wichita Open. Then our 14th telecast of the year, the final for 97. The St. Clair Classic near the Mississippi. And the airtime is different at 1:30 Eastern Time. But on now with the Greater Detroit Open. That's 2.
Well, this will be a real test for Tommy DeLutz and the right side. We have 2 right-handers left, Pete Weber, Tommy DeLutz, and the southpaw Ricky Ward. What is on that left side? We'll find out in a minute.
Another single pin attempt coming up. In the victory match over Webb, Tommy had 6 strikes. Beautiful form, Bo.
Well, Chris, he has improved his game, as we said, and you know, one of the guys that really gave him a lot of help, and he credits is Brian Voss, who has actually had the same kind of loop in his swing in the early 80s, and right now we see Ricky Ward, the first southpaw we've had in the telecast for a couple of weeks. Let's see how he does.
PBA champion in the Johnny Petraglia Open in 1993. Dead serious, but he can be funny. He's had 14 television appearances overall, but as you saw, 3rd here in 97. third and a fifth coming in here. And make it a two-bagger, Bo.
Well, Chris, you're right. Looks like Ricky Ward has the shot. We'll see if Tommy DeLutz can answer. And with me is Wayne Webb, who has a pretty good feel on the lanes. Wayne, kind of ugly out there, pal.
I'm glad I didn't have to bowl any more on him. I'm still confused. I don't know what I do.
Well, you get to keep your hair. Chris, he threw his ball, his glove, and everything else to the audience, but keeps his hair, and he'll be back for another week. Back to you.
All right. Thank you. So Tommy DeLutz Jr. is down 11. Marked to the spare in the first. Shooting the second. Semifinal game. All right.
Young men out there, here's a fellow who went through college, bowled on a bowling scholarship, All-American twice, and really has the kind of game you want to pattern your style out. Very versatile, very strong, with a terrific arm swing, and look at this knee bend.
Belmont Stakes on ABC, following us except on the West Coast. Roses go on the horse for the Kentucky Derby. Black-Eyed Susans at the Preakness, but in New York, the Belmont Stakes, it's a blanket of white carnations. Three in a row now for Ricky Ward, the number 2 seed in the Greater Detroit Open.
Ricky Ward in his early years was plagued by a lot of bad games. He'd be going along 220, 220, 230, and bowl 150, and Wayne Webb gave him some great advice. These are two comical guys. He says, to avoid bad games, throw strikes, and that's what he's doing right now. You see a little different line from this man. He's playing over on the right side, playing around the third arrow, and not swinging it out to the edge. More of an inside shot, much different than the right-handers. Wow, watch this pin action. Now watch Ricky. Great arm swing, good leverage. Watch the 5-pin. He'll just saw it right out of it. It says zap. Goes right by the 10. 9 out of 10 times he would have a strike there. However, he does have a 20-pin lead as he gets a little disturbance from the side. Takes his time, restarts, and he even changes balls. What going through his mind? Chris, would you have done that? Do you own 2 bowling balls?
Yes, as a matter of fact. Well, I do. Thanks to you. Tomorrow on ABC, this track will be the site of the Detroit PBA and ABC. 36 consecutive years. A lot of scenes like this in all those years and so many wonderful cities. Tommy DeLutz trails by 20. Has a strike up, can cut it to 10. Hanging on the lip, and the shaky 2-pin, their single spare. Pros make most of them in the 90 percentile range, and I'm sure you as league bowlers and people that bowl, the millions of you, know how to cover this pin. All right. Okay, Bo.
Thank you, Chris. Pete Weber, tournament leader. When I walked in this building 5 days ago, I picked up the newspaper. Pete Weber says, I'm the man to beat in this tournament, and here you are in the number 1 position. Why such a brash statement?
Well, Bo, it's been about 5 weeks since I've won. I'm really hungry again. I've got the confidence. Come and get me.
Lacks no confidence. He's got that German Weber in him, and he's ready to go. Back to you.
All right, we have another single pin spare. This time it's a 3-pin, and hearing Pete, it sounds just like his father, Dick, who is in Toledo today, doing some work over there. I'm glad to know he's working. Only kidding, Dick. All right.
Ricky Ward, another college product. He had a offer of a scholarship to Nebraska. It wasn't guaranteed, so he opted to go to school in Florida and has made the most of it.
Okay, tonight on ABC, it's an all-new night of great new episodes, starting with Lois and Clark, then Leaving L.A., Spy Games, and Gun. That's all tonight on ABC. Beautiful strike.
As you see, Ricky Ward not having the trials and tribulations of his counterparts on the right side, putting some extra pressure on Tommy DeLutz.
Long, hard look at the 6'10".
Here's the angle that Tommy is trying to play. Inside-out swing, good look. He feels it's good, and then all of a sudden, snap. Goes high, 6'10", left side of the approach. A little bullet shot over here to avoid the chop of the 6 off the 10.
Continues to mark that he is trailing. Now Ricky Ward with a double up, shooting in the 7th frame semifinal match, winner to meet Pete Weber.
Taking a re-rack. And I think that's good. You know, maybe the pins are a little bit off spot, but that's not very often. He needs to just take his time, and it's actually a good match game ploy. This guy's from a part of the country where I'm sure he's put his old bucks on the line before, to slow your opponent down a little bit when you're trailing.
Just didn't come up, leaving the 2-pin. 6 regional titles. Tommy has won.
This ball's rolling out, sends it wide, and it just runs out of energy about a foot in front of the pocket. Doesn't make the flip up there to get the ripper. And about the only thing he can do for that is change balls. He has 4 in the building that he used during the tournament, or throw it harder and straight.
This action coming from Taylor Lanes in the town by the same name. We'll be back. Tour in Taylor, Michigan. You're looking at lefty Ricky Ward. He bowls out of North Fort Myers, Florida. And he has a double up shooting in the 7th frame semifinal game. Only 1 spare has kept him perfect through 7 from being totally perfect. But it's marking, and that's what you need. Leads by 44. Four in a row for Ricky Ward.
Well, Chris, while we were away in a commercial, as Ward has opened up a big lead, Tommy DeLutz Jr. turned to his kind of coach, rep, Dave Smart, and said, "What do I do? My ball's rolling out. Let's see what they've come up with."
Good advice. I think I'll go to Dave Smart. Tomorrow, 2:30 Eastern, 1:30 Central in the Pacific on ABC Sports. PPG points leader Paul Tracy with 94 heads up a strong field in the ITT Automotive Detroit Grand Prix. And at 5 Eastern, 4 Central Pacific, it's the first of 4 international race of champion events. 12 drivers, including headliners like Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon, and Al Unser, competing in identical cars. Comes up with his 3rd strike in the game. It's a double.
Well, let's extrapolate a little bit. Tommy DeLutz, if he strikes out, can go 225. He needs some help from Ricky Ward. He would need an open frame. As Ricky Ward, if he just marks out, will be in the 240s. So Ricky can't be protective, but 2 marks will do the job.
Smooth action on the part of Ricky Ward today. Remember, this is his first shot at it. He has been waiting off to our right, and he's shown us plenty.
Well, Chris, as you mentioned earlier, I mean, just one stubborn 10-pin on a really good shot in the 4th frame has kept him from perfect through 9. Tommy DeLutz is going to finish 3rd, his highest finish in PBA, and he'll be back.
Dancing off the deck for Ricky Ward. North Fort Myers, Florida.
Potential 279 with 2 more strikes. The action has picked up here in the semifinals. Pete Weber on the sideline, very confident. But I know this will be a little different.
Ricky sort of borrows toward the deck down there, like an acknowledgement. Thank you.
Late action, as long as the machine doesn't assist in the carry, it can count. And he gets the 4-pin out, finishes with 267. Wow. Tommy DeLutz. I have to say that he has a potential 225. He's come a long way, more than a respectable job, as he's going to bowl the highest game so far by any of the right-handers. However, Ricky Ward, it was his day in the semifinal. But watch this young man. Likeable, but he can throw that bowling ball.
Another product of the collegiate ranks, who have sent out a lot of young bowlers that appear often on our telecasts.
Those sparkling eyes. Finish with a 5-bagger.
Very nice job. 267, 225. As this presentation of ABC, the Professional Bowlers Tour, will continue after this word from our ABC stations. As you can see, the semifinal match, Ricky Ward and Tommy DeLutz Jr., 267, 225, a match, and it's a prelude to what's coming up next, because the tournament leader is one Pete Weber. Well, it's time to say auf Wiedersehen to an old friend, and I'm speaking of the best of the tractor-trailer television trucks that any network ever had. That's right, Phase Free is being retired. It was built in 1978 for us. She's done Olympic Games, Super Bowls, Monday Night Football, college football, World Series, Indy 500, Triple Crowns, political conventions, presidential inaugurations, and of course, many, many PBA telecasts from all parts of the United States. So Phase Free, as we look at George Botcher and Hector Casilia, 2 of the many technicians that have worked on the toys in the truck. It's so long, old pal. Rest well wherever you are.
A job well done, Chris. And as we enter this championship match, this should be a good one. Pete Weber, who is 10-10 as a tournament leader, he's worked this crowd up going against one of the tough, hard-nosed players on the PBA Tour. Never count out Ricky Ward going for his 2nd title. Strong, tough, and determined. Here we go, championship match.
So a 3 on the left lane for the semifinal game winner.
All right, let's see what Pete Weber does. Now, I watched him all week long. He was playing his coast-to-coast rainbow shot, whatever you like it. Start on the left, throw medium speed, and just rip the finger holes out. Let's see if that's the style he opts for today, and how does it work? First shot.
Okay. You know, a moment ago when I was saying farewell to Phase 3, I missed Bruce Giaraffa. And I missed a very important thing. It's Bruce and Lorraine Giaraffa's wedding anniversary. Congratulations, folks.
Well, all week long, that shot would swing back to the pocket for Peter as he was the tournament leader. And here you see it hang. Now, pay a lot of attention. He's got good rotation, good rotation. Now, the ball acts like it wants to get there, and then it's just a little tardy, and he leaves the 2-pin.
All right, strike and spare for Pete Weber. Back up now is Ricky Ward, who had that big 267 with 9 strikes. He opened here in the championship match with a spare, if you just joined us. Seven. 5'7" Ricky Ward, 165 pounds. 5'7" Pete Weber, 135 pounds. It's a mismatch in boxing, but not in bowling, as here's Bo.
Hey, Chris, Tommy DeLutz, absolutely a wonderful performance. You have to be happy.
I'm very happy. I ran into a little put bull out there, and he just crushed him, and I'm happy the way I bowled, and Ricky just beat me. It happens.
Can you give any advice to Weber? Do you think there's a big edge on the left, or Weber with his big hook can contend?
My advice to Weber is strike a lot, because Ricky's looking kind of tough.
All right, here's a guy who's tough in his own right. Back to you, Chris.
Just powerhouse strikes. Ricky hits that pocket. So there's one pin separating these two pros. Pete up in third frame. Made a spare in the second frame. He said he was hungry.
Taking a re-rack on the left light. One thing that bodes well for Peter is the tournament leader that finishes the match first, and that will be Peter, is a 70% winner. So if statistics rule today, Peter has the edge. He will finish this match first. Right now, he is the leader by 1 pin.
Little 210.
Well, he's trying to accommodate a dry center of the lane, which all the players have said that is the consensus, a little bit drier than they expected. The ball hangs on the edge, can't make the turn. There's only a certain amount of the ball can hook in that short a period of time, and will not do it for Peter.
Shown here now, take a look on it. Beautiful Bell Island is a trophy that awaits the winner.
Professional Bowler Tour on ABC Sports. Brought to you by Nicorette Gum. You can do it. Nicorette can help. Degree, the body heat activated antiperspirant and deodorant. And Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
They're cheering here in our final match at the Greater Detroit Open in Taylor, Michigan. Home of the Red Wings, home of the Grand Prix, home of so many sporting events this weekend. Scary.
Ricky Ward leads by 11, can make it 21. It is 21. Chris, I think Tommy DeLutz kind of coined a new moniker, a new name for Ricky Ward, the Bulldog. He is strong as they can be. You arm wrestle him, you're in for a world of trouble. And he's really kind of putting it to Pete Weber right now, not taking a back seat.
Greater Detroit Open winners.
Some pretty good names there, huh, Marge?
Oh, golly, yes. Amleto had the only 300 game here this week.
Ward, 5th frame, can extend his lead to Weber, over Weber to 31.
Big game in the semifinal at 267, and he is continuing.
And he gets away with one here. See him fan his swing to the left. He knows it's going to go high. And if it's your day, you trip the 6. If it's not, you leave a 4-6 and the match is even. Now he's really got the squeeze on Peter.
And when the squeeze is on, he gets tougher.
No doubt, Chris. I don't disagree with you. Pete Weber is being one of the toughest players on the tour, even of all times. But right now, he has a tough decision as his wife looks on. What do I do on this left-hand lane? It's been somewhat inextricable for him. He's been high, then light. Does he just saw on it, just rip the holes out, or does he muscle it? Let's see what happens. Well, as he leaves the 2-8, get the ball in this area, make the 2-8, Peter, try to hang there in the match as he turns to the audience and even to his wife and says, hey, I've moved 5 boards and the ball ends up in the same place. Tough going.
That was perfect. Way to cover the 2-sleeper 8. 31 pins separating, but Ricky can add on to his lead. 3 in a row, shooting in the 6th frame.
Something we see very little of, Chris, is lopsided victories game after game on the PBA Tour. Yes. And in the first 3 games, including the Showboat King of the Hill match, the margin of victories has been an average of 61 pins, and it looks like our championship match will be no different because right now Ricky Ward can open up a 51-pin lead through 7. Unbelievable.
And then,
well, I'll tell you what, Pete Weber just jumped off the chair just like he got stuck with a hypodermic as that big old split comes up. Ricky Ward will try to get the ball over in this area and try to slide some of the pins over into the 4-8.
151 through the 7th. Now the spare up when Weber gets working. He has a spare in the 6th. He'll be shooting the 7th. We get a good look at Ricky and Pete. Pete going to work.
Working on the thumb hole, and Ricky Ward did the proper thing there, just going for 2 pins. Don't give Weber any more of a break than he's possibly given him already through that open frame. Weber has not proven to Ricky Ward that he can throw strikes, especially on the left-hand lane, so
loves the right side. So he can cut it to 13 with a strike here in the 8th frame, though.
Well, Chris, this is the agreed 13 pins, but this is absolutely the most pivotal shot in the match. He wants to finish on this lane, and if he can't hit it, he's going to have a long day and a long 3 frames in front of him. This is a key shot. And that's why you say just don't hook it more. The ball actually runs out of energy. Here's a good shot. Watch it hooking, plenty of spins, plenty of spin. Now as it nears the pocket, it just rolls out dead and has no power. Weber, an easy spare, but he still trails by 23.
Next Saturday at 3 Eastern and Pacific, 2 Central on ABC Sports, it's the Wichita Open, where Jess Stayworth tries to defend his title. That's next Saturday. Pro Tour, ABC. Strike in the 8th. Ricky Ward.
Next week, John Crum, Frank DeSocia, our host. As you see Ricky Ward strike up in the 8th frame. Best Pete Weber can bowl is 208. Ward needs to stay clean to lock him up. However, a couple of strikes will put him completely away.
The number 2 seed is swinging. Tournament leader is on the right lane for sure.
Peter has an outside chance, must strike 2 shots here in the 10th. Ricky Ward is the Detroit Open champion, 1997. As you see, Pete Weber has never come close on the left-hand lane. Did all he could, change balls, move around, and it's Ward's day, and he will be the new Showboat King of the Hill challenger for Walter Ray Williams Jr.
That was with a tremendous amount of speed, though.
I think the speed came more from his temper.
From anger.
Well, I don't blame him.
I don't either.
You lead the tournament, and you just run into one lane that you just have a lot of trouble with, and 39 was the undoing of Peter.
Congratulations from Pete. Round of applause by Pete. Okay, Ricky wins his second PBA tournament.
He's part of the changing of guard out here. You see Tommy DeLutz Jr., Ricky Ward, Tim Chris doing well, Steve Jaros. There's a new breed. There's some old-timers out here, but some new tough tigers out here, and he's one of them.
Weber in his first victory at 267 with 9 strikes. Another handshake from a man that finished second, the runner-up, Pete Weber, 240 to 188. So he is the Greater Detroit Open champion. The fans are standing applauding. 5'7" Floridian. He did do a terrific job. We'll be back in Detroit after this.
Wins title number 2, $18,000, defeats Pete Weber, and with Chris Schenkel as the King of the Hill winner and the new champion. Chris?
Boy, is this going to be fun. We've given this man all the accolades you could in bowling, and this is the first time I've been able to hand him money. 10 grand for the King of the Hill. Walter Ray, thank you. See you next week against the man on your right.
Definitely. Hopefully I'll be able to figure out the lane conditions a little better than he was. And I'd really like to thank Showboat, great sponsor of the tour, and it's great to be there and bowling as it is here.
Okay, see you later. Now, Ricky Ward, North Fort Myers, Florida, and Alan DiBiase, the general manager here, son of the co-owners. Wow, did you smoke him here?
Oh, I tell you, this is a dream come true. I kind of came here with an open mind, and it's a wonderful thing. Just had a good attitude coming in this week. And I'd definitely like to thank the fans here at Taylor Lanes, DiBiase, the whole crew, wonderful people. Thank you for your support. And I feel like the jockey that I was, I had a great horse this week. As far as the bowling company I bowl for, and Silver Charm's a #1, and so is our ball company. So
is that your pick, Silver Charm?
Well, he's the favorite, but I pulled for the long shot, and that's what I looked at this week for me when I came in, and I came through. It's his turn. Okay,
Ricky, you have the highest score ever shot in a King of the Hill match. That sets you up for the King.
Well, as Walter knows. He will get a chance from me next week.
The psych has begun. Ricky Ward has the gauntlet. You've just put it down, haven't you, babe?
Yeah. looking forward to next week. I just got to wake up, pinch myself, and look for next week.
How about some gold from Alan DiBiase? You, your family, and the co-proprietors here have done some kind of job, as always.
Well, thank you. We love hosting the Professional Bowlers Tournament. It's our 13th, and we hope to do it again.
And hopefully we'll be back here for the 3rd time. So why don't you hand Ricky that trophy first of all?
Congratulations, Ricky. On behalf of everybody at Taylor Lanes, I'd like to present you with the good stuff, the trophy and the check for $18,000. Congratulations.
For the people back home, this is for my sponsors back home, the Rick and Mark Means. I was looking for this opportunity. Here you go.
How about Ricky? How about your home bowling establishment? What do you call home in the lanes in North Fort Myers?
Miracle Lanes is where I had a pro shop, and that's where I practice. And I'm looking forward to when I get back to doing some more fishing. That's kind of what got me here. And when I go back, I'm gonna fish.
You say fish?
Fishing, yes.
What do you fish for?
Whatever tugs on the other end.
Well, you ask a leading question, and the guys that throw strikes like him just laid me low. Ricky, we appreciate seeing, and Bo and I did enjoy doing commentary on your 2 wins here today because you were absolutely beautiful to watch, right, fans?
Thank you.
Thank you, Alan, and your family and your co-partners. And, of course, we'll see you in Wichita next week. Thank you very much, and so long from Michigan.
Today's telecast of the Professional Bowlers Tour was produced by Carol Leddy, directed by Norm Sammett, technical director Michael Carmen, associate director Freddie Jeff King, production manager Joe Alvarado, technical operations manager Richard Reed, assistant to the producer Brian Zwolinski. Coming up next, except on the West Coast, it's the Belmont Stakes on Wide World of Sports.